It being 5 o'clock, I'll call this meeting of the February 10 Education Committee meeting to order. Guess the first thing we need to start with is the roll call. Commissioner Bradley?
Yes, sir.
All right. Commissioner Haley?
Here, sir.
Commissioner Stroud? Commissioner Stroud? Right. Commissioner Woodard? Commissioner Woodard?
He's going to have to unmute. I muted.
Oh.
Yes, present.
All right, sir. And I am here. That's 4 out of 5. I declare that we have a quorum. Its first order of business would be the minutes from the January meeting. What's your pleasure?
I move for approval.
Have a motion by
Second.
Commissioner Haley. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right, by Commissioner Bradley. All those in favor say aye.
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 Do we have any opposition? All right. I declare the minutes approved. Guess at this point in time, we will turn this over to Dr. Causey for his part in letting us know what's going on.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is safe, and hopefully you got a chance to look at the agenda. One of the things we wanted to share with you is just an update from Monday night's board meeting. Monday night's board meeting was actually still closed. We were hoping that March will be open and we can limit attendance, and I think we're well on our way to that. So I don't expect that to be the case in March. But one of the things that you will see in front of the commission when you meet here in a few weeks is a surplus request for pupil transportation. I know Mr. Heiderman's on this call. If you have any questions, it is a typical type of deal, kind of like most departments do when we're ready to get rid of some vehicles. Of course, they get surplused, and the board voted to approve that list unanimously on Monday night, and it will be in front of the commission. So that is something you will see. So just kind of give you a preview of those Grand Prix there, all 1999 Pontiac Grand Prix to be put on Gov Deals. Any questions for that? But that's just something you're going to see, so I thought I'd share it with you, so you can see that you've seen it come the commission meeting. I did want to let you know we did recognize Kathy Finley Monday night. We gave the second Friend of Education Award. I think everybody knows Kathy and the work that she's done with 4-H, but also all of the camps and all of the different activities, including the after-school program at Springfield Middle. And we were able to recognize her. A couple of her daughters brought her and gave her a nice award. She taught for us, for those who are not aware of it, back in 1974, 1975 for 2 years. A lot of people know her work with UT Extension, but she was actually a Title I teacher for us back at the Cedar Hill School, which was takes a lot of us back to a different time. The last thing from the board meeting, just to let you all know, and I think we've had a few conversations about this, under old business, it was brought up with the Springfield High School soccer field. Back in 2019, we had a bid that was brought up. Charles DeWeese was the lowest bid to rotate that soccer field. We had another one for a retaining wall, and that bid was actually, it was rejected. It was a lot of money at the time, and so the board will be putting that back on the March board meeting. We got a letter from Charles DeWeese, who had the lowest bid for that project, and we got a letter actually back to us on Monday that said that his price to rotate that field would be the exact same as it was back in 2019, which I think is a pretty good deal. And so we've sent that to County Finance, who sent it to our auditors, State Finance as well, to make sure that we don't have to rebid that project or anything like that. So once we get the okay on that, and the board will be bringing it back up in the March meeting to possibly to vote on that project once again. So just to let you know where that project is. It was never dead. We just had to put it on hold for a while. And of course, we were looking forward to doing that possibly this school year that we're in now. But then we had some other projects that, because of the safety involved, kind of took precedence at that point. So any questions about the board? We have a board member here, not to put him on the spot, but I know it's been a while since we've had a board member at an education committee meeting. So I think we need to give him a shout out. Mr. Stephen Ayers is here as a new school board member at our meeting tonight. So
We do appreciate your attendance.
any questions? All right. Just to kind of give you some updates about where we are. Back in January, it seems like a long time ago, but we actually made the decision in December. But we have two different, I guess, educational models going on in Robertson County right now. The pre-K through fifth grade, they're going every day, except for those students who, from third grade and up, were on our Connexus platform and were being successful. We let them stay. And then those who have a doctor's recommendation of them being virtual, we've let them do that. Other than that, they're all coming to school every day, and it's been a very wonderful return for those kids. But grades 6 through 12 is a hybrid model. We have half the alphabet going Monday and Tuesday, the other half going on Thursday and Friday. We did that really just so you could have some consistency 2 days in a row, and that's just a different model. There's lots of different ones out there, but that's the one we chose. Starting February the 1st, I think it was the 1st, 2nd, we brought back, or the week of, should I say, we brought back some students on Wednesday. These are students who were not being educationally successful in the hybrid model. So we gave them a third day in order to give them some extra help, have that one-on-one FaceTime with teachers. I will tell you, the only students right now that are going all 5 days are students that are in our CDC program, which is those students with some severe disabilities who have to be fed or changed or whatever the case may be. They're with us all 5 days. And we also have some students that have one-on-one educational assistance based on their disability, whether they're CDC or not, and they're coming all 5 days because the adult is there to help them. We are looking forward to bringing back all of our students. We'll get the vaccines next, but if we can get vaccines started as quickly as we think they might, which could be as soon as the middle to the end of next week. Talked to the health department today. That's not publishable or anything like that, but we think that we're going to get teachers vaccinated relatively soon. Then we look forward to bringing back everybody at the very latest spring break, right after the week following spring break. We'll still allow virtual for those on the platform and those who have some medical diagnosis that allows them to stay home. So any questions on the hybrid update?
Dr. Causey,
Yes.
Steve Haley,
Hi.
would there be any chance of vaccinations being done at the school itself?
We have discussed that probably at length. Some of the hoops you have to jump through, and the major one is dedicated refrigeration for those vaccines. You also have to have them pretty much guarded with your life. And if you don't use them after they thaw, then you pretty much toss them out. So our biggest hurdle was the dedicated refrigeration. All of our schools have great refrigerations. However, they're used for food. They're not necessarily used for vaccines. So we met with the health department very early, and the health department wanted to actually come out to our schools and give those vaccines instead of our teachers going there. So what we're working out now is making sure that the state allows us to have what they call pods, the place of disbursement. You've heard that term on the news. And maybe pull up a school, say Joe Burns Elementary, and we give vaccines to that school, at that school, and then Joe Burns High teachers come down to Joe Burns Elementary to get their shot. So they won't have to come all the way to Springfield to get it. So that's the route we've chosen, other than we're having to provide dedicated refrigeration in all 21 of our schools, if that makes sense.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. Like I said, we've already talked about vaccines. Rachel Ellis from the health department and I spoke today, and I got to give her a shout out because she's very dedicated to the fact that our teachers need vaccines. I'm very amazed at a school when I've talked to teachers and they've said, I haven't really decided yet. And I won't get to the political sense of it, but we're trying to encourage all of our teachers to get vaccines. We have a couple of pharmacies in Robertson County that are actually started waiting lists for our teachers. We're perfectly fine with that. If they happen to be able to go there before they can get it from the health department, we're okay. We've had teachers that went to Macon County on a Saturday. They've been to Henderson County, and my guess is some of them may end up in Metro this weekend if they're allowed to get a shot. And we're okay with that. We do realize, though, that they can't get the first shot there and then get the second one here at home. They're going to have to go back at some point. So we're going to try to make it as easy as possible for them to get it here. But, of course, if they choose to get it elsewhere, then that's fine with us as long as they get it. Just to give you a few construction updates, Bransford Elementary, we have a few heaters and bathrooms to put in. They should be done by Friday, and then that project is done. We'll do a final walkthrough, and we'll be totally finished with that project. Coopertown, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just said that was awesome. But I did have
Thank you, girl.
a good job. I'm glad to see that project come to fruition. But I wanted to ask the question about, you know how we having a little problem with our kids not doing virtual learning like we thought that they should. What plan do we have in place long term for those who have fallen behind either from neglect for not participating on the site or either for sheer learning disabilities? How are we going to try to fill that gap before the next school year?
Well, right now, of course, if we brought them back already, then we have after-school tutoring every single afternoon specifically for those kids who've got those gaps. However, this summer, and we're still working out the details, but I'll give you all a preview. If you've seen that in the news, we will have an extended summer camp for all of those grades, 6-week camps, and these are 7-hour-a-day camps. It's not your typical summer school. We're talking about 6.5 hours plus 30 minutes. They also include a STEAM camp, an extra hour a day there. So there's money that we've been given from the state to do those camps. We're paying teachers $1,000 a week in order to teach those. The classes themselves, they're being ratioed at 20-1, and they're going to get an extra $400 per class to work on instructional materials and things like that. So we're going to start summer camp relatively early in June. We're taking applications for those with our teachers that want to do it. And we're really working on, Commissioner, that bottom 25th percentile of those kids that really are struggling. Percentile meaning that there's a whole lot of kids that are doing much better than they are right now. So absolutely. I tell you what, if virtual learning is not working and you're in grades K through 8, hopefully we've brought you back already. It is our high schoolers that are struggling a little bit with the hybrid, and we're working on after school tutoring as well as bringing them in on that third day if we have to.
Dr. Causey, with this summer camp program,
Yep.
How's this going to work? Is it going to be mandatory? Is it going to be open to everybody if they don't want to go?
We're gonna call it mandatory for those kids who need it.
Okay.
And the thing is, with the 20-1 ratio, when you look at the bottom, say 25th percent of our kids, that's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
So we also need teachers to teach them at a 20-1 ratio. So it really depends on how many teachers we can get, and how long we can keep that going. We've also got extended 2 years from now. We can expect summer camps every summer for kids, and that is something we've never seen before. We used to have to do summer school ourselves once the extended contract money ran out. So it's going to be a continuation program for K through 8 anyway, and we've always had summer school for high school for credit recovery. So, I think the money's always going to be there. The thing is, $1,000, and this is, y'all might find this interesting, $1,000, I've been told, for a lot of folks is not worth it. And you think, that's a lot of money for a week. But the thing is, when you've been teaching hybrid and you've been, working your rear end off for a long, long time, you just want a break. And we understand that too. So, we may, be using some of our, ESSER 2.0 funds in order to, bump that up just a little bit, just to make it more attractive. I will talk, it's not on the agenda, but, we've got 2 rounds of funds from the federal government right now. We've got 1.0. ESSER 1.0, CARES Act money is what we call it a lot in this room. That was used mainly for hotspots, laptops, virtual seats, things like that. The second round of money is actually about 4 times that amount. We're getting about $6.5 million. $5 million of that will be used on facilities, meaning that we don't have to come to the commission and asking for it. We are working on the HVAC projects for Springfield Middle, West Side, and Kreisel. Some of those rooms have units that have been around for a long time, and or the window units for air conditioning. We should not be running schools anymore with window units for air conditioning. This is 2021. So we are working with both Train and ESG, the company that did Bransford, to give us their thoughts and some prices on those 3 schools on how to swap out the HVAC. So just trying to be as transparent as possible. And, but just know that, we don't plan on asking the commission for that money. That's going to come from the federal government. So, very.
Director Causey, I got one quick question about the summer camp. I couldn't work the mute button quick enough.
Okay.
If you, are we're gonna have those at every school, or are we just going to use a centralized location and just have it at once? Go ahead, sir.
Our plan is to have them at every school. If we've got a school that only have 15 kids sign up, that's a problem. So the thing is, we're getting enough funding actually to assume that 40% of our kids are going to attend. The question is, if they don't sign up or they don't attend, do we have to give the money back? That's really the question of the day. And we don't have an answer for that. But we're getting a pretty good chunk of change based on about 40% of our kids attending camp this summer. Of course, and you and I both know we're going to be talking about competing with baseball and softball. When the world opens up again, I think the last thing a lot of these parents are going to want to do is bring their kids to school. But you and I both know that there's a gap, as Commissioner Woodard said, there's a huge gap of our kids that have been virtual that haven't hit a lick in the snake while they were at home. So we've got a gap that we've got to take care of, and the sooner the better. In 2 years, legislation is going to discuss retaining 3rd graders. Well, those kiddos are about to be 1st graders. So we're looking at their scores now so that we can help catch them up before it's even an issue in 3rd grade to retain them.
So there's not going to be any virtual during summer session. They're going to have to attend school.
That is correct. I will tell you, the only virtual we have is high school. There is some high school credit recovery that we do, but we also bring those kids in, and it's online, but we still bring them in to work with an adult. That's the difference. I say virtual, I really mean online. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, Coopertown Elementary School was rocking and rolling till today, pretty much. But just know we're pretty excited. We're down to a punch list of the admin wing. They've got a few more engineers to go through there and make their own punch list. But that's pretty much done. And we're looking forward to moving some furniture in there relatively soon. We are not down to a punch list yet for the new edition. We still have some things to go there, but we are going to look at a punch list as early as March. So just know that the cafeteria has finally started to have walls. If you drive by there now, you'll see it. One of the things that they plan on doing this weekend, if we can work out a schedule with CEMC and the folks working on our electrical engineers there, we're going to swap over the power. We're going to combine it all pretty much. We've been dealing with old power there, old building, and now we've got new building that needs new power. So we've built the room, we put in the panels, and now it's just a matter of cutting it off, hooking everything back all together, and then whatever they call it when they turn it back on, when they I don't know. Y'all know better than I do. They call it charging. They like charge the lines or whatever the case may be. So, with a long extended weekend and the ability to, have folks to take, you think about it, we got to remove all the food from the freezer, put it in a place where it won't spoil, because that's about a 2 to 3 day process, and then move all the food back in. So this was a great weekend to do it, and hopefully that will come to fruition if the ice doesn't get too bad. If the ice gets too bad and CEMC is called to do other things that were of more emergency, like people's power at their houses, then we may not get to it this weekend. But we're hoping to do that, and hopefully you will see more progress on the cafeteria end of that building relatively soon. Last time we did talk about Greenbrier Middle School gym floor. That will be painted, that will be sealed, and that will be ready for kids to bounce a basketball on by the time they return from spring break.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, sir.
How are we looking on timeline at Coopertown? Are we behind or running about what you thought?
We're doing great on being able to move kids into that building. Right now, the only iffy side is the cafeteria, is the new cafeteria. But we're not going to stop using the old one until the new one's ready. So the renovation of inside the building, and when I mean renovation, I'm really talking about the changing. Right now, we're changing the old cafeteria to a theater with a stage and permanent seating in there, which they've never had. We're changing the kitchen into a classroom/green room. We're expanding the library. We're doing lots of things inside the building. That's the only part I'm concerned about. But right now, we're tight, but we're on schedule to have 4th and 5th grade there in August. We're going to get to that zoning conversation in a minute. But yes, sir, we're going to have enough room for kids in 4th and 5th grade come August. We may have to work on some logistics as far as tearing down the back part, but I think we can do that relatively quick.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
I have one quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we? I know you said we're pretty much on timeline schedule, but where are we with the construction company as far as them meeting their end of the timeline? Are they on schedule? Or are they going to end up owing us money, or how's that? I mean, where are we as far as on their end?
Right now, their schedule still has us moving date by the last week of July. That means everything done, ready to drive around and the whole 9 yards.
Excellent.
And then you just pray to the weather folks, and maybe we can make that happen. But right now, their schedule still has us last week of July for everything. I will let you know that on Saturday, the 27th, in about, I guess that's 2 weeks from this Saturday, our school board does have a retreat. We'll do that publicly because of sunshine laws. That'll be at Stokes Brown Library, starting at 9 o'clock. The two main things on their agenda right now is our 5-year facility plan, so that we can update that from last year. We can bring that to a board meeting in March, and then we can have it to you all in March's meeting, is the plan. The second item for that is zoning. As you all know, right now we're finalizing some maps before they start going public with some meetings regarding our 6th graders that would be coming into Springfield Middle in the fall. That will not be coming to Springfield Middle in the fall. That's step one, and then we're going to branch out from there. Please remember that this fall, Springfield Middle will actually be grades 6 through 9, with 6th grade being Innovation Academy only, 9th grade being Innovation Academy only, and then 7th and 8th grade being both Innovation Academy and Springfield Middle School kids. And that's because we're not going to zone them out, allow them to finish Springfield Middle School until they get to the high school. But there's a lot of different scenarios outside of what I just said that the boards can have to discuss, especially with, like I said, the housing in White House and everything else. For those who had the opportunity to listen to Edsel Charles last week at the meeting at City Hall in Springfield about where the different housing developments will be and where we need to start looking at building schools. close to 65 and 24. That's pretty much the gist of it. But that is all I have for today. That's where we are.
All right.
Can I ask a follow-up question on the note of Innovation Academy?
Yes, ma'am.
Where I got an email from one of your scholars about fundraising for the science labs. They're raising money. They're asking for donations to upgrade the science labs. Can you elaborate on any of that?
No, ma'am, I can't because I don't know what you're talking about, but I'll find out.
I'll be happy to forward this to you when we finish our meeting.
Do. Yeah, please do. I will tell you, of course, we have the brand new science lab at Springfield Middle. I think most of you all have been in there, that we built when we did the theater a few years back. There are a couple of science labs that will be renovated, but I don't know of any fundraising in order to do so. Yeah. Yeah, if you'll send that to me, I'll do some digging for you, ma'am.
Dr. Cosby.
Yes, sir.
You did mention about the zoning.
Uh-huh.
I know, but I didn't seem like I was either got too clear or how the zoning going to stay the same, or what are the changes?
I think I said the first step we have to do is zone the incoming sixth graders that would be going to Springfield Middle to make sure that we put them where they need to go based on where they live, and then we'll branch out from there. So I think I would be talking way out of left field if I start talking about what I think the changes will be. But we have to look at the big picture. One of those being Joe Burns, as well as the 6 portables we have at Greenbrier. And it's going to be a phased approach. I will tell you that. We're not going to sit there and move everybody in one summer. So I think giving people about a year head start, or to start thinking about what they need to do, is the best approach. And we're going to start with the incoming 6th graders at Springfield Middle. But we'll have community meetings relatively soon about that part of it anyway.
That's correct. Is there any projection on the number of students that will be in Innovation Academy for each of the grade levels?
Yeah. And actually, when you look at grades 6 through 12, so you're looking at 7 grade levels. If you're looking at the very least about 100 kids, so you're still looking at about 700 eventually. Right now, we have anywhere from 80, which was the first number that we started with, to 120, because we actually upped that 3 different years in a row. So because of that, then you're going to have an influx of different numbers per grade. So I think at some point we're going to have anywhere between 7 to 720 once the school's all said and done. 800 is a lot of kids to put in that building. So we're going to try not to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many we got in there right now, Chris? I mean, Dr. Causey.
I think we're probably at about 650, 700 in that normal range. Yeah.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Yeah. Yep. It's pretty large. It's actually I don't know. It went down. We had a huge 6th grade class last year that honestly nobody saw coming. It's just every kid that moved into Springfield that year, I think, was a 6th grader. So other than that, of course, and they're 7th graders now. But other than that, I think the incoming 6th grade, of course, will only have, I think it's 100 kids in it. Whereas, because we did have to step it back down, because if you have 120 kids per grade level and you've got 7 grade levels, that's 840 kids, and that's too many. So we have notched it down a little bit, and then we'll gauge it every year to see what we need to do.
Have you set a class size on it that you're going to shoot for, the number of students per class?
Per class.
Different grades?
And 6th grade, because BEP is 25 to 1, which is the rest of the county, and 6th grade for IA, it's 20 to 1. When you get above that, it's 30 to 1 for everybody else, and we try to keep it at 25 to 1 in IA. Yeah. High school's a different world because you've got kids that want to take other classes. And we are solidifying, it's not public yet, but we are solidifying the paths that you can go at Springfield High, the co-oping for athletic purposes, what that will look like, we're pretty much setting that in stone within the next few weeks. So when we publish it, I can promise you a lot of people have had their hands in it.
Okay. All
I would like to clarify what I said earlier about the email about technology.
Uh-huh.
Actually, after reading it, it says I want to make sure I get this right. It says for additional technology, special events, and scholar student rewards.
Oh, okay.
Just to be clear, I didn't want to.
That makes me feel a lot better than science labs, my friend. That will not be the first school that actually does a fundraiser for iPads and whatnot. So, yeah, and student awards and things like that. So, hey, feel free to send it to me anyway, because I do fundraising requests a lot, and sometimes they all kind of bleed together.
Yeah, and I have a similar issue. That's funny you should pivot into that. Last month at the county commission, we approved like $1.3 million for a bond for schools. Can you enlighten me? I've just drawn a blank what that was specifically for.
Commissioner, that was actually the same. That was actually a redo of the interest rate, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was the same bond you'd already approved, but we had to redo the interest rate to save money. Is that what we're talking about?
Right.
Right.
That's correct.
Sure that I didn't miss something. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Just want to be clear, which I just want to be yeah.
Yeah. That's all that was. It actually ended up saving us, I think, about $1 million in the long run.
I believe so. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Congratulations to you.
No, I mean it as a good thing. Like congratulations to the county, to the school, to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'll tell you, we couldn't do without Ashley. He's the one who brought it up and saved us a lot of money.
I agree.
Just need to do it every month.
Every month. Yeah. we built the school in about a year, right?
Right. Any other questions? Appreciate your interest, Dr. Causey. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Ayers, we appreciate you being here. Do we have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Hey,
Oh.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes, sir.
before we close, I want to tell Dr. Causey, I guess you and me don't have a crystal ball about tomorrow, but when you get up in the morning, text me or something. We'll see what's going on, okay?
Okay. I will tell you, I didn't know if you heard the call. We've already closed school for tomorrow.
Okay.
We went ahead and did that really just based on the fact that we were going to have buses out starting at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So we went on ahead and shut her down. That includes daycare, and you'll see that if you watch the news tonight. I think most of the ice storm folks will have done that. I will tell you, the district office is going to be on a 2-hour delay, just to give folks time to get there. But I've already told my folks at my office, if you truly cannot get out and you cannot do it safely, then most of my people can telework. So we've given them that opportunity as well.
Well, that's what I've told my department heads that's elected. I said, use good judgment. Tell your people they can't make it, they can't make it. And I know I got a lot of departments that do 7 days a week, but yeah, hey, stay in touch with me on that. And of course, I guess the state canceled out on the task force call tomorrow.
Yes, sir. But I'm impressed with how quickly they rescheduled for the next week. So.
Well, I did that. I told them Rachel's very concerned. She wants to talk to them. And of course, we want to get the teachers get vaccinated, and we're worried about why some counties is doing some and we're not on, getting our shots. So yeah, hey, next Thursday at 2:00.
Hey, you keep on telling the governor what to do, and I think we'll all be okay.
All right, see you, buddy.
All right.
All right.
Mr. Mayor. Dr. Cos, I want to commend you on answering all our questions. And I'm quite sure we're going to have plenty more about this Innovation Academy.
Yes,
But
sir.
I thank you for being very informative, and we appreciate your presence.
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Darrell.
All right. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. We are adjourned. Thank you.
That's a step it up.